This is my second update for the Fireball character build, so if you haven't watched the first one, please go and do so. If you want to decide about leveling with it or not, I have a picture at the end of the first video, at the end of the second video, that shows what you want to use for leveling, and it also shows like different gear sets and different rune sets that I used throughout the journey to where we are right now. This is designed mostly for level 80 or 80 plus characters, and once you have access to good crafting materials for your weapon, so once you get here and have all of these good runes, this is the video for you on how to progress your fireball into crazy amounts of DPS. Let's look at the character again. We are hitting 1,160,000 tooltip DPS. So you could see in the test that we did, the damage is actually quite high now. Over 3 million on single target. Okay, let's see what we got here. On defense, we're mostly capped. On higher maps, this is not capped. This is only like 60, so that's a little bit annoying trying to get more cold rest. The armor is around 60%, so that's good. With the seals active. Okay, yeah, health is 3.8. Let's look at the gear now. On the scepters, I have 4 good stats, which is damage against enemy affected by dot. Sadly, a low roll, same with speed. Taken spell damage is quite good. Fire damage is nice here. Quite a strong weapon. 24% quality. That helps a lot too. But if you don't want to spend any of the legendary quality essences, then just bring it to like 18. 18 is fine, perfectly fine. This one is a very special scepter. It's a Aquila one, Aquila enchantment. Doesn't really matter if you hit attack speed, cast speed whatsoever. Cast speed is very nice though, very nice, so really lucky on that. I would still use this item base if it was a bad enchant. Mainly for the reason I can hit +1 pierce count. +1 pierce is gonna let us drop a rune later and replace it with a more damaged rune. So I will show that soon, once we go into the skills. Then we have the hit rate, attack and spell damage, fire penetration, attack and spell damage. Sadly no speed on this. The damage on the scepter is quite bad. It's not the best. I'm using that for the pierce. The pierce is so good that it's still worth to play this weapon, even though it's not optimal. Lots of health on the helmet, 2 resists. I don't really like this helmet too much. Once I get enough resists that I can ditch this, I will, and I will use one of the legendary alternatives here, which are either Coffin of Innovation, Sunlight's Kiss. If you have some more barrier, then that's really strong. Also gives some damage. Or the Confident Smile with a lot of cast speed, damage taken, dampening. So that is really strong. That is really strong. That's what my budget recommendations for helmets are. Okay, let's go back into the gear here. Full armor based Spalders here with a lot of damage on him. 1 resist only, sadly. I wish instead of this crap here we would have way more resists, especially cold resist I'm lacking. Poison dodge chance also not so great. Don't really like that. But it's like a good Spalders. I identified it mostly like this. I think the only thing I added was item drop rarity, and I added 1 random stat. Sadly it didn't get to be a good one, but who complains about item rarity? It's a very good Spalders. And some magic fight might help out with the next drop. +3 to the level of Fireball, insanely good. Lots of health, 2 resists, armor base. Enchantment doesn't matter so much. Damage against elites for boss fights, fire penetration, elemental damage. Triple resist, very good. These 2 stats are not so good. So health would be better on these, and cast speed. Health and cast speed instead of these 2. But I think you cannot get cast speed if you have elemental damage on them. They're exclusive, I think, so maybe only health instead of one of these 2. The armor is actually quite okay as a stat. Lots of damage, lots of movement speed. Sadly only very low resists here. I wish I had a 3rd one. Maybe not fire, since fire I have quite a lot, so cold would be perfect here. but you guys need to just balance that on your own. We identified this here, quite a good find. Lots of damage, lots of hit rate, and one good resist, so Dex here is quite bad. Instead of Dex would be perfect to have another resist, and that would be literally GG item. And this is obviously very low, but that's okay. Instead of cast speed, you can use the elemental damage base. I think that's better. But since I opened this like that, and it had all the good stats, it is way better than my old necklace. So let's look at the belt. Lots of health, health potion effect, recovery potion effect, which is mana and health pots as far as I know. Lots of hit rate, cold resist. Chill dodge chance should be live here instead of that, and intelligence should be another resist. Chaos resist would be good, or resist should be higher, then that would be GG. The rings are not changed yet. I still use them. I haven't changed them in 20 levels. I really need to craft better ones, but elemental damage, cast speed, some projectile damage, health, 1 resist, so 2 bad stats here. Also here, bad stat, 2 resist, that's good. Air charge, also bad for me. Health and cast speed, so could have more damage on that, could have more resist on that, but it's a good base and I haven't gotten to craft a better one yet. For the charms, I am in Capri here, 40%, and I'm trying to get Castor on 3 other charms, but I haven't got the chance yet. For the thing up here, I'm mostly going into damage, 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 hit rate, which is also damage, damage, and damage. So yeah, it's that on the charms. For the relic, I'm using the Avatar of Alyssa, which gives fire resistant, and a buff which has actually permanent uptime, as you can see, due to this cooldown recovery speed that gives 10% fire penetration and 10% fire damage amplification. So lots of damage on this. The other one you can use is Avatar of Capri. Instead of fire resist, you get fire penetration and damage passive. As a passive, that's a lot of damage, so very good to use this. And you get fire resistance cursed on enemies, so also a good damage buff. I think it's a little bit weaker, the active skill, but if you don't need fire resist, you get a passive, which is quite strong. So that's the 2 options you get. Okay, let's look at the runes here. So we still run concentrated area damage as rune on the build. After that, fire penetration. After that, persistence for non-crit versions. If you plan to be crit, you cannot use this. Quick cast, 4th best rune. Then strike. It lowers the cast speed, which is annoying, but it still does more damage. But it's not quite as strong as all of these here. And then we can actually run projectile deceleration instead of piercing, because we don't have the need for pierce anymore if we have it on the scepter. If you don't have it on any of your weapons, you need to run piercing or mapping to feel good. This one needs to be normal quality. Like if you upgrade it to magic, rare, legendary, it makes your projectiles even slower. And the slow projectiles on fireball is actually a downside. In most builds that use this skill, it's an upside. That's why it decreases with leveling that up. So you keep that wide if you choose to run it. Okay, increase duration, release element, time acceleration linked together. Seal of condensed elements, seal of defense still. Leap attack, teleport, use count, disarm, increase duration, time acceleration, tenacious regeneration. And that is linked to buff activation, so it activates on its own whenever I get hit. Yeah, that's the skills. This one here is just for the rare maps that have the status effect mission, because fireball is killing stuff too fast, so I cannot finish the mission with fireball, so I have to switch. So you can basically ignore this for the build. Don't need it. You don't need it. Yeah, let's look into the Zodiac. Dexterity only as much as you need for your armor, like for your items. Intelligence as much as you need for your fireball rune. Strength, everything else. Okay. In the first one I skill everything, lots of damage. Second one, all the damage that applies to us. Third one, lots of damage, some health. You can go into here, you get mana potion or health potion up. That is quite strong, I might be doing that later on. Since the harder content you run, the more you're requiring to have good regenerations. Okay, on the fourth, a lot of more damage here. After that you need to go into here, but we will show that later. On the fifth, armor, health, damage. On the sixth, lots of damage, fire penetration, cast speed. On the seventh, actually go 3 ways. Some damage here, you can ditch that for the potions in here if you want. Lots of damage up here, lots of damage here. On the 8th, all into potions. And, oh wait, on the 7th, I mean, still. On the 8th here, dual wielding, everything we can get. That is quite strong. Some fist damage taken dampening and some no crit. Actually, we cannot take crits with that. I feel tankier, I don't die so randomly in maps, so I take this. And up here, some health, some damage. You can ditch that if you want and put it into potion effect here. Might be better, might be better. Okay, acceleration is still king, one of the best talents on the tree. 20% cast speed, 15 movement speed, that's so good. Overpower for the penetration and damage. Strike damage amplification. Lots of damage there. Same here, lots of damage. Cast speed damage. Even more damage. So all of that is just damage, damage, damage. And up here, +2 projectiles, so your fireball has 3 instead of 1. Lots of damage. And lots of damage. So that's the build, guys. I hope you like it. And I'll see you in the next video, or I also live stream. So come by and say hi. Yeah. If you have questions, I will always try to answer all of the questions on the stream, but also in the comments down below. So feel free to leave a comment. Like, subscribe, whatever. See you soon. So just to showcase, I'm running a fully boosted tier 6 map here. I have been actually running tier 9 fully boosted, but that would take too long. It takes like 15 minutes to clear. If I'm not like fully focused. So probably can do it in 10 if I have a good layout. We've done that on stream quite often, so for the sake of the video I'm gonna run a little bit easier here. At 89 guys, that's quite high still, quite a high level on a map. And you can see the 89 map, it's quite easy now. Most mobs die one shot. Like all of these normal mobs, they die one shot. Mana seems fine, so very fun to play now. Very fun to play. And even the level 95 maps, they're quite doable. Usually I would full clear this map this map here. But since we are here to show the build, I will go to the boss after clearing this little area here, not full clear all of the map. We've done here. So as you can see, even without Pierce, the clear is quite good. And this is a level 89 boss. You basically can just stand there and burst him without even doing anything. I would have survived the frost due to cold status immunity elixir. So I suggest you guys run that. It's another good tip for really high level maps, since getting frozen kills you. You can use the cold immunity with use upon status effect. So when you get frozen by anything, it activates the flask on its own.